I come to
Oh, great.
the garden alone while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice I hear falling on my ear, the sign of God discloses, and He walks with me, and He talks with me, and He tells me I am His own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. He speaks, and the sound of His voice is so sweet. The birds hush their singing, and the melody that He gave to me within my heart is ringing, and He walks with me, and He talks with me, and He tells me I am His own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. Yes, that joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known.
Hello and good evening. My name is Lucy Pavel. I'm a social worker with Queen City Hospice and a member of the management teams with Queen and Day City Hospices. On behalf of Queen City Hospice and Day City Hospice families, we would like to give you a warm welcome and thank you for joining us for our celebration this evening. It is truly an honor to have cared for your loved one and to have shared in a part of their life's journey. Thank you again for joining us as we honor and remember them this evening. May you feel blessed and encouraged. This evening we would like to recognize your loss, remember your loved one, reaffirm your beliefs, and find an outlet for release. I am grateful to Spring Grove for allowing us to honor those who have gone before us together as a community. We hope that this evening's service will help you to start to grow hope for the future again. Thank you.
The dash. I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on the tombstone from the beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of birth and spoke of the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. For the dash represents all the time they've spent alive on earth, and now only those who love them know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we know, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love and how we spent our dash. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? For you never know how much time is left that still can be rearranged. To be less quick to anger and show appreciation more and love the people in our lives like we've never loved before. If we treat each other with respect and more often wear a smile, remembering that the special dash might only last a little while. So when your eulogy is being read with your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they say about how you lived your dash?
Chaplain John with Queen City Hospice, and truly, it's a great honor to be able to stand before you and to have served alongside the hospice teams in your times of need, and thank you. Thank you for inviting us into those places, those homes, those rooms. It's a great honor for us to do that. I have a poem called I Heard Your Voice in the Wind. I heard your voice in the wind today, and I turned to see your face. The warmth of the wind caressed me as I silently stood in place. I felt your touch in the sun today as this warmth filled the sky. I closed my eyes for your embrace, and my spirit soared high. I saw your eyes in the window pane as I watched the falling rain. It seemed that as each raindrop fell, it quietly said your name. And I held you close in my heart today. It made me feel complete. Yes, you have died, but you are not gone. You're always a part of me. And as long as the sun keeps shining, the rain falls, the winds blow, you will live in me forever. This is what my heart knows.
I'm Chaplain Lisa Stevens, and I'm with Day City Hospice. Now, the theme for today is growing hope. And just like hope, healing from grief looks different for different people due to beliefs and experiences and values. But mankind has been connected to this earth for quite some time. Whether you believe in creation or evolution, ashes to ashes or energy, we each are on our own individual journey. And each one here has experienced the loss of a loved one. But our journey becomes more meaningful when we can appreciate the beauty in this world. And sometimes that means getting back to the basics. Part of that journey is recognizing our natural human abilities. There are things that we know, like when it's going to rain. Those of us who grew up on farms or who garden, we're familiar with the saying and seeing it's coming. Smell the earth, you can smell the dirt. Scientists have actually discovered that there's a chemical reaction that happens in the air itself and in the ground when it becomes filled with moisture. And there's a bacteria that actually becomes activated. It's interesting that it's not in your mind. You actually can smell the rain coming. Our ancestors relied heavily for the rain and the moon to determine when to plant and when to harvest. And if we reclaim that connection we can also apply it to grief. The process of gardening or farming are similar to grief if you use your imagination. Picture this with me. A farmer or gardener wakes up and the sky is dark. You stretch and you find your footing as you fight the exhaustion and soreness from the previous day. You've got a lot of work to do, full day of it, and you have to get started. Your body may be a little stiff, but you just have to start moving, and your movements will become more natural. You need nourishment to sustain your body for the work you'll be doing for the day. And you plant the seed. You search for results of your labor with hope. Now, a seed itself is surrounded by darkness at first. Feeling slight pressure from the ground, like being wrapped in a blanket. The seed has a longing, not knowing what that longing is or even where it's coming from, but the pull is powerful, urging the seed to reach, absorbing nourishment from the ground and water and sun. It continues to reach for this unknown source, and it grows. When you are healing from grief, sometimes you may feel the dampness. You may feel a heavy weight. Sometimes you may feel the urge to do something, but you're not sure what it is. Other times, you have tasks to complete, but you don't have the strength or the focus for that day. You need nourishment for your spirit and your energy. Like the farmer and gardener, I pray you find your footing as you fight physical and emotional exhaustion. May you get moving so the day becomes more natural and familiar. Like the seed, I pray you recognize that the pull that you are experiencing is from growth and hope. May you discover the healthy nourishment that your spirit needs to heal. Be that through a higher power, hobbies, friends, and loved ones. There is certainly a pattern with the seed and the gardener. There's no exact pattern for grief, and when our path don't meet the expectation that we have set, we must resist feeling discouraged or wonder why we're not further along in our journey. Those of us who are task-driven can probably understand that the most. We want to check that box off that it's done. It's easy to accept when the sun is shining, when our spirits feel content, and when we're having a good day. It's not as easy to accept when the rain comes, when the tears flow, and our spirits ache. But that's healing too, even though it can be painful. As much as the seed needs the rain, we need to release the grief that's stored in our bodies. We must be mindful not to lose ourselves in grief. Healing and growing means to embrace both the sunny and the rainy days. And it doesn't mean avoiding discussing your loved one. It means not only being able to say your loved one's name, but to tell stories. And you'll probably do that through both tears and laughter. Maybe they had a certain saying that they were known for. Maybe they had a unique laugh. Maybe it was their ability to give the best hugs. Maybe your loved one could fix anything. Maybe they could cook anything. Maybe your loved one was the best at being a friend or confidant. But in closing, I pray those good seeds that your loved one has planted throughout their lifetime serves as an inspiration and glimmer of hope to you. May those good seeds continue to flourish and bless others. And for all of us here, whether it be from our words or from our actions, may we also plant seeds to encourage and bless others and grow hope to continue to heal. Amen.
Amen.
If I knew what words to say, I'd have said them. More to me or to you, I don't know. How long should I stand there before I take the next step? Before I keep moving on my own? With change comes changes, and something new means something's gone. So thank you, thank you. I am so grateful. Thank you, thank you. If I could turn back the clock, I'd have done so, just to watch all of life unfold. How every person, time, and place makes the most sense. As the person, time, and place that it was. With change comes changes, and something new means something's gone. So thank you, thank you. I am so grateful. Thank you, thank you. I may take my next step, and I may take another, but I'm forever grateful for the steps we shared with each other. So thank you, thank you. I am so grateful. Thank you, thank you.
God's Garden by Melissa Shreve. God looked around his garden and found an empty place. He then looked down upon the earth and saw your tired face. He put his arms around you and lifted you to rest. With the help of his angels, they flew you to your heavenly place. God's garden must be beautiful. He always takes the best. He knew you were suffering. He knew you were in pain. He knew that you would never get well on earth again. He saw the road was getting rough and the hills too hard to climb. He closed your weary eyelids and whispered, "Peace be gone." It broke our hearts to lose you, but you didn't go alone, for part of us went with you the day God called you home.
Good evening. I'm Catherine. I'm one of the social workers with Queen City.
Remembering is such a special thing. At first you feel and remember only the grief, the loss, like a throbbing dome of pain over every thought, every recollection. Remembering is such a special thing. After a while, you try to remember only the nice feelings, the good times. You fight yourself if memory tries to bring to mind anything unpleasant. It feels wrong to think of something not perfect. You remember big events, great successes, and that your loved one was the most wonderful person in the world. Remembering is such a special thing. It takes time before you manage to recall without discomfort that you were angry with them, or disappointed, or bored even. It takes even longer to realize that such less than growing recollections makes no difference to the way that you love them. Remembering is such a special thing. And then, your memory allows you to have the whole person with you. All your thoughts about him or her are comfortable and comforting. Your dreams about them begin to include scenes from everyday life. That is when memory lets you remember them with you again, completely and truly. It may sometimes hurt a little, bring small reminders of your early grief, but most of all, it feels warm and tender and good. Remembering is such a special thing.
Good evening, folks. I'm Rod Fightmaster, chaplain with Queen City Hospice. And I just want to say to begin with that it is such an honor for us as social workers and chaplains to be entrusted with the spiritual and emotional care of the ones that you love so much. We are honored to be a part of your lives, especially theirs in their last days. Someone I love has gone away, and life is not the same. The greatest gift that you can give is just to speak their name. I need to hear the stories and the tales of days gone past. I need for you to understand these memories must last. We cannot make more memories since they're no longer here. So when you speak of them to me, it's music to my ear. I now have the honor of reading the names of your loved ones. Carl Olsen. Joan Bags. Jerry Bags. Mike Bags. Robert Burley. Russell Dollarhire. Ronald Goins. Beverly Grubbs. Richard A. Haynes. Ioana Huntingford. Ruth King. H. Lawrence. Barbara Ellen Longstreth. Ronald Ludicky. Scott Ludicky. Marilyn McKenzie. Helen Randall. Roy Sowards. John Strunk. Thomas H. Walsh. Kathleen Wolf. William Strattman. Paul Rye. Harold Larman. Betty Fabi. Adelaide Morrison. Dale Thompson. And Frank K. Offner. Let us all take another moment to remember all of those that we have lost, that were not mentioned today, but their loss still weighs heavily on our hearts.
Good evening. My name is Kevin Holly. I'm one of the bereavement coordinators at Queen City Hospice. We again, as you've heard many times tonight, say we are indeed honored to be a part of your loved ones, their final moments of life. But we're also honored to be around to care and be concerned about you as you go through the process of grieving. Please know that we are here for you beyond this, and we care. And we hope that you will be encouraged, and that hope will truly grow within you. The passing of your loved one is among the hardest parts in life. It's hard, as you know. Humans attach themselves to one another, and the mere thought of separation causes profound sorrow. You're now on the other side of what you were never looking forward to. Your loved one is no longer here in body, but is now forever in your mind and in your heart. Wherever you are on your journey of grief, allow yourself the time to do the important things. Please be kind and patient with yourself. Give yourself grace and time to feel and talk, especially on those days that are a lot harder than others. Allow yourself to feel what you feel, even when it's difficult. Let the feelings become your roommates, so to speak. Learn to share the stories of your loved ones. Occasionally do something in their memory. Light a candle, as we have done tonight. Light a candle on their birthday. Cook or order a favorite food or meal that they enjoyed. Even planting something as simple as a flower in their remembrance, of which we are going to do just a little bit this evening. But no matter what, allow hope. That's right, the word hope, to grow within you. What does it mean to have hope, especially in moments like this? It can look different for many people. To have hope is to want to have an outcome that makes your life better than it was before. It helps make a tough situation more bearable. Hope breathes a sense of life into our minds and into our hearts. How do we plant and cultivate hope? Whether you have a green thumb or consider yourself a gardener or not, at times it's necessary to sow some seeds and plant a seedling in our lives. To help illustrate this, imagine you have some seeds. Imagine that you have some seeds in your hand. That's usually the first step in planting something and hope that it will grow. And so you get those seeds, and imagine that as you take those seeds, you honor your grief, your struggle, your distress by confronting the hardship you face. Sow the seed by accepting the situation before you. So you take the seeds and drop them into a pot or into the soil. Then there is the small plants, like a plant I have here. A little plant. You'll see some of these in a little bit. Imagine this small plant maybe symbolizes allowing yourself the willingness to accept your struggle, your grief, your hardship, because it'll germinate with patience and endurance as you go through that yourself, and planting hope and allowing hope to grow in you. And then there's the pot. The plant goes in, of course, with the soil for it to grow. And so finally, your endurance builds. And your ability allows you to have hope and to allow that hope to grow within you. The producing of character and maturity that again produces ultimately hope. Just as you are more than your name, your job title, your relationship to others, you have and will always have value, just as your loved ones have had tremendous value. So remember, we get to love. Love is greater. I imagine your loved one would desire that of all of us. Your thoughts and prayers remain with you, our thoughts and prayers. Our theme tonight, of course, is growing hope. And that's what we hope to do tonight through this service, is give you an opportunity to focus on hope, even in the midst of the struggle of losing someone, a loved one that was so important to you in your life. And so in a few moments, we're going to do that very thing. We're going to go outside here at the conclusion of this time together, and outside and begin planting our flowers of remembrance. And once we are done planting, you get to take flowers like these home with you. And they're yours as a gift from Queen City Hospice, Day City Hospice, and of course Spring Grove. Also, please feel free as we conclude that time together, sharing in some food and some refreshments, and just hopefully hanging out so that we may get to know you better and you get to know us and one another. As we share in this common experience of losing a loved one, and then building on that, this idea that there is hope in the situation. So may God bless us all as we spend this special time together. Amen.
Now I encourage you all to be able to just head straight back to the windows, the doors. Those will be opening for us to be able to start planting our flowers there.
I want in this thing.